Hi friends, welcome to Social Studies class and we are continuing our Political Science chapter 2 Federalism. Okay, now in the first session of this chapter we studied what is federalism, how can we say India is a federalism, what are the features of federalism. We have discussed this one. Now we will discuss that what makes India a federal country. What are the principles that by which we can say that our country is a federal country, our India is a federal nation. Yes, we all know that our nation, after the partition, we adopted democratic form of government, and in 1950 our constitution declared India, our country, as a republic. And but the word federalism is not directly added, it is indirectly mentioned in our constitution. Okay, so we all know that the word federalism meaning division of power between the state government and the central government. Now, federalism is nothing but division of power between the state government, central government, and even among subordinate level, lower level. That is, in our country, we say local self bodies, or you can say three-tier system we say in our country. That is three levels: central level, state level, and at the local level. That is, we have municipal corporation, municipalities, and panchayati raj system. That is village panchayat. So that is the third level. Okay. Now, our country is the entire governing system. In order to avoid confusion, the entire you can say subjects has been divided into three different levels. That is central level, union level, state level, and concurrent level. Let us discuss about each of them. The first and the foremost is union list. Union nothing but central. We all know that union government is a government for entire nation. Whatever changes it brings, that will be for the entire nation. Union government does not work for any particular state or region. It has to see the overall development, overall administration of entire nation. So, the subjects which are included in the union list, that is for entire nation. It is not for any particular state or particular region. It is for entire nation. And such subjects, the changes in that subjects will bring changes in entire country, in entire states. Like you can take defense. We have defense for entire nation. We don't have respective state defense. We don't have respective state army, air force, or navy. We have at the nation. Next one, that is foreign affairs. Any problem happens with any foreign countries, or anything has to be dealt with the foreign countries, it has to be maintained, done, and handled by the central government. Same communication and banking. The principles, the rules and regulations of communication and banking must be maintained, must be overtaken, or must be seen or handled or administration by the central government. Next, after this, it comes is currency. For entire nation, we know that we have only one constitution, we have single citizenship. That is why we have only one currency. We cannot have different forms of currency in all 28 states. It will be very difficult for us. So, we have only one currency, and that is at the nation level. So, that comes under the central government. Central government has the right to print, to monitor the flow of currency or flow of monetary funds in the nation, in the country. So, all these directly comes under the central government. Central government is sole responsible for all these activity, department, and subjects. Okay, next one is state. We have 28 states, different region, small in area, large in area, small in population, large in population. Their physical features, location, geographical conditions are different. So all the states are having certain power. In federalism, state government are also having certain power where central government cannot interfere. Like in union list, state government cannot interfere. Like that only in the central government, in state government also, the central government cannot interfere. Like state police. Every state we have respective state police for maintaining law and order. All state has their own respective police. Okay. Next we have trade and commerce. The state government has right to maintain the trade and commerce, to maintain the flow or regulate the flow of the trade and commerce within the state. Next one is agriculture and irrigation. The agricultural land, the agricultural provisions and irrigation facilities has to be maintained by the respective state government. Here no other government, that is union government, cannot interfere. Next, third one is concurrent list. The subjects which are shared, divided among both the government, union, that is central government, and the state government, comes under the concurrent government. For example, education. We have central government universities, central government schools, we have respective state universities and respective state government schools. The policies of education is maintained or shared by both central and state government. Forest, this is also shared among both central and state government. Next one is trade unions. We have seen various trade unions both in public and private sectors. Okay, because certain things comes under central government, certain industries comes under, certain departments come under state government. That is why the trade union is merged, shared among both. Okay. Next one is marriages. In our constitution, nowhere it is written that a person must marry only in his state, only in his district, state and all. We can marry anyone in India. We can marry, a girl can marry any boy from any Indian state. A boy can marry any girl from any Indian state. No such restrictions. So that is why marriage and divorce both comes under the concurrent list. If problem arises between two states, they can go to the Supreme Court. So marriage and divorce comes under the concurrent list. Both the state government and the central government is sharing. Adaptation and succession, same thing. Adopting anyone want to become successor of anyone. Both these two are in the concurrent list. Yes. There are certain things which are not mentioned in all these three lists. Because when our constitution was made, when these three subjects were divided, there were certain things which are there present were not existing in those times. For example, if you think software. Software arose in 90s and the time of framing of our constitution it was not there. That is why such things are mentioned in the residuary list. Cyber crimes related to cyber security, software, this all comes under the residuary list. Next, we all know that our country is divided between the central state and union territories. All the states have respective state government, but union territories are directly governed by the central government. They have special provisions, special features. For example, you take capital city of Delhi, Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar Island, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Pondicherry, Daman and Diu. These all are various union territories. At present, we have two more newly added, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. These two are also have become union territories. So they have special powers and they have been under the rule of the central government. Central government makes policies changes in these respective union territories, whereas in state, the state government having the power to make the changes. Next, amendments. You may be knowing changes in a constitution, because as per time, as per situation, as per generation changes there, changes also must take place in our constitution. So the amendments which takes place in the parliament, that we have both the houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, must be passed by 2/3 of the majority. It has to be passed both in the Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha by 2/3 of the majority. After passing, it has to be passed even more than half of the state. Then only it becomes amendments. So we have seen the division of next. The local self-government which we see in our country is also very, very important. It has its own feature and functioning area. That is, it is divided into 3 forms. That is municipal corporation at the city level. The city level we call as a municipal corporation, and the head of municipal corporation is mayor. At the town level we call as a municipal council, municipal committees, and the head is chairman. And the village level we call as a Gram Sabha, Gram Pradhan is the head of that, village panchayat, Gram Panchayat, village panchayat, and Pradhan is the head of that. And these 3 have their own jurisdiction, they have their own governing ruling area, and they have their own administration area. They are also working for the development welfare of the people. They are very, very essential for the development. Rajasthan was the first state to follow the 3-tier system, that is Panchayati Raj system. It was adopted or formulated by Balwant Rai Mehta committee, and the Rajasthan was the first state to follow the Panchayati Raj system. So I hope you have understood what makes India federal country. The union list, state list, concurrent list, and the 3 functions of the local self-government, that is municipal corporation, municipal committee, and village panchayat. Next part of these lessons will continue in the next session. Thank you. Take care.